Hey guys, okay, I've got these two mics here. The venerable SM57, it's been used on the Snare for decades, both in recording studios and on stage. It's just basically a very reliable, very durable, and really the best part, relatively speaking, a very inexpensive mic at $99. Now, this is the Shure Beta 98 AMP. It's being marketed by Shure as a drum mic. I'm interested in this for live gigs. I'm not really so interested in the studio because I'm already using this. I mean, whatever. But for live gigs, this is much smaller. I'm much less prone to accidentally give it a good whack with my drumstick, which I've done more times than I care to think about. So you can place it out of the way and it picks up things really well. It's also much faster to set up because the clamp that comes with it is really easy to use. Normally I use an old school LP, mic clamp, and I hate those things. They're a pain in the ass. And I know what you're thinking, really Gary, are you that lazy? Well, the answer of course is yes, I am. This is easier to set up. XLR goes here. You slide it in the cradle, which goes on the clamp, which clamps very easily to the rim, and I'm done. My signal chain is not what I would normally record the snare drum. I'm going to put both of these mics on the snare, and I'm going to play. I'm just going to do kick and snare. And I'm not going to put anything in between the mic and my interface. Normally I would send my snare mic through a tube preamp. But I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to go directly to the interface, so it's going to be the purest mic output signal that I can come up with. Okay, so this is mic A, this is its track, this is mic B. I've automated mutes, so whenever you see this light blue line in the top position, that mic is unmuted, and this mic would therefore be muted. Now this mic is unmuted, that mic's muted, and I will, of course, reveal which mic is which. But first, let's check it out. Here we go. Okay, I think there's a very, very discernible difference between the two mics. Mic A is picking up a mid-range ring. This mic, mic B, is really sort of notching out that frequency. Now, I don't know, is that bad? Well, no. It's just an interesting thing. So let me show you what I mean. I'm going to just loop this section here, and I'm going to pull up an EQ. Okay, so if I play this, and I notch out that frequency, it's gone. Back. It's gone. Okay, so mic A is the Shure Beta 98 AMP. Then mic B would obviously be the SM57. So anyway, the last point I want to make is we drummers tend to get tunnel vision and just look at drums. We are sidemen for the most part. We are accompanying music, and therefore I feel that you should listen to drums in the context in which they are presented. So let's play it with music because it's a much more realistic way to assess the sound of a drum. Drums don't usually exist in a vacuum. We are sidemen for the most part. We are accompanying music, and therefore I feel that you should listen to drums in the context in which they are presented. So here we go. I have to admit, if I had to choose one, I would probably go with the 57. That compression thing that it does is pleasing for this particular snare drum at least. And the Beta 98, emphasizing that mid-range ring, it's not all that pleasing. However, look, I could work with either one. With some EQ, some verb, little compression going on, they would both sound really good. So that's my conclusion. All right, guys, if I were to just watch this video and not be the guy that made it, I think I'd have more questions than answers. What about a different snare? What about vocals? What about acoustic guitar? What about horns, etc.? What about the toms? After all, Shure is marketing this as a drum mic. So, look, I said in the beginning that I'm interested in comparing these two mics for live applications only. I only really care about how these two mics record a snare drum. This is not the snare drum that I'd be using live, so my point is, yes, I realize it's a flawed comparison, but I still think it's useful. So I did say that I could work with either one, so I did mess around with some EQ and some compression and some verb on the beta track, so I'll play you like 8 bars of that just so you can hear that it sounds pretty good now. Much better than the raw track for sure.